Szanowne Państwo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Szydłowski. I'm the president of the Polish American Cultural Society, and it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the 2012 Polenez Ball. Please stand and join us for the American and Polish national anthems. Please remain standing for invocation by Monsignor Greg Schmidt. Extend a thank you to the staff at Sunset Country Club here. They've done a wonderful job for us. We really enjoy coming back, and there's a reason for it. It's because of this wonderful service that we have, the food, the cooperation that they give us, and it's been a wonderful relationship that we have with them. The primary purpose of the Polish American Cultural Society is educational. The Society promotes knowledge and appreciation of Polish and Polish American culture in all its forms, and encourages Polish Americans of all ages to deepen their own special cultural heritage and to preserve distinctive, social customs and traditions. This is our mission. To this end, our volunteer members participate in the many local cultural events. The Society celebrates the festive holidays of Vigilia during Christmas season, which is coming up soon, so you should have a notice on that. It's coming up in 1 month. And also Święconka during Easter, with traditional songs, music, and food. We are honored to have many distinguished guests with us this evening. Representing the Thomas Jefferson School in St. Louis is Lisa Holkamp and Jane Pisek. And currently, they have a student from Poland, Agnieszka Żolka, and she is attending the school on scholarship, and she is with her friend Olivia Moulton. Excuse me. First Vice President, Chair of Special Events, Mrs. Eleanor Zhizhinska. Second Vice President, Mr. Anthony Mihuka. Our Treasurer, Mr. John Gomez. Our Recording Secretary, Mrs. Geraldine Kushatek. And Mrs. Marianne Shabuska, our Director of Arts and Music. At this time, Councilor Drudnick will introduce his guests from the Consulate General of Poland in Chicago.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our guests from Chicago. And this is a return of the Deputy Consul General, Robert Ruszewski, and his wife, Monica. So please give them a hand.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Polish American Cultural Society, thank you very much for having invited me and my wife to St. Louis, to Polenez Ball again. Last year we were here and we enjoyed that really much. So we were really happy to hear from Councilor Grodnik that Polenez Ball would be organized again. And I think it will still be organized in the years to come. So thank you very much for your involvement, for your help, for your support, that you can meet at a so distinguished occasion and celebrate Polish heritage. This year, we are having special opportunity to celebrate because tomorrow is Polish Independence Day and also Veterans Day in the United States of America. As you may know very well, so it's not going to be a history lesson, but if someone doesn't know, I'd like to remind that in 1980, Poland regained its independence after 123 years of being a subject of other countries, being a victim of partitions between Russia, Austria, and Prussia. So 1918 was the head year when Poland was again in the map of the world. So we have reasons to celebrate, and this year's Polenez Ball is at the eve of the national holiday. So I'd like to congratulate you all for all your efforts, and I'd like to wish you all the best on the occasion of national holiday. I have also the privilege of having something special for one of you. I mean, a presidential decoration, which is going to be bestowed upon Antony Kamiński. Committed and dedicated towards Polish issues, especially the Polish radio in St. Louis. And this time in Polish, I'd like to give you the information of what's going to happen in seconds. Postanowieniem z dnia 29 lutego 2012 roku pan Antony Kamiński oznaczony został Złotym Krzyżem Zasługi przez prezydenta Rzeczpospolitej Polskiej.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few words here. I know I'm not on the radio, but Szanowni Państwo oraz Robert Ogrodnik i Saints Chicago, kancel Robert Rzeczki. Jest to wielka przyjemność dla mnie. Jestem bardzo wzruszony i pragnę podziękować z głębi serca władzom Polski za to odznaczenie. Dziękuję panu Markowi Jankowiczowi oraz panu Robertowi Ogrodnikowi. Doceniam ich wysiłki za otrzymanie tego odznaczenia. Również dziękuję swojej rodzinie za ich poparcie przez te długie lata. Radio Polskie w St. Louis jest nadawane już od 1935 roku. Szczycę się, że mogę przez te ostatnie 20 lat dalej prowadzić Radio Polskie oraz prowadzić Polską Bibliotekę, znaną w St. Louis jako Polish Heritage Center Library. Bardzo cenię i czuję, że ta praca jest ważna i dobra, aby utrzymać naszą kulturę, nasz język polski i nasze przywiązanie do naszej ojczyzny. Bywa czasem, że człowiek się wysila nie tylko za pracę, ale i swoje nerwy, poświęca swój prywatny czas, pieniądze i nawet obowiązki rodzinne, aby wykonać co tydzień coś ciekawego dla naszych ponownych. Nigdy nie jestem pewny, czy naprawdę ludzie doceniają tą pracę i te poświęcenie. Polski program radiowy prowadzony na żywo dociera do słuchaczy nie tylko polonijnych, ale innych narodowości w stanie Missouri oraz w stanie Illinois. A jednak to tak miło i bardzo cieszę się, że takie odznaczenie umocnia mnie, aby jeszcze ciężej pracować dla dobra Polonii i naszej ojczyzny. A few words in English. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Polish American Cultural Society, honored guests. No eloquent words can describe my pleasure in accepting this award honoring my work with Polish radio. By honoring me, the Polish government is also honoring you, the St. Louis Polonia. I'm indebted to the special people who recognize the unique contribution of the radio program, Mr. Marek Jankowicz from TV Cracovia, and honorary consul representing Poland, Mr. Robert Ogrodnik. Also, a heartfelt thank you to my entire family for their support through the many years. My wife said not to mention her maid, so I won't say Alicia. Originally, the Polish program began broadcasting in 1935. My predecessor, Anthony Geppert, hosted the program for 40 long years, and how proud he would have been of this award. I have been at the microphone for close to 20 years, and I intend to continue to work in providing the culture and heritage of our beloved country to Polonia and the Polish-American public. For over 75 years, Polish radio has been a beacon for Polonia and St. Louis, and hopefully will remain on the air for many more years to come. Needless to say, I will continue in promoting, educating, entertaining, and inspiring all things Polish on the radio, as well as continue my work at the Polish Heritage Center Library. My first broadcast was on the 14th of February. On that St. Valentine's Day, a love affair started between myself and Polish radio. Można nazwać to od Polski z miłością. And in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize one more person very important in my life who's here today. If it wasn't for him, most of the Kamiński family would not be here. Back on September 17, 1939, In our farming community, the Russian soldiers invaded Poland. Things were pretty rough, and you can guess. There was death, and the threat of death almost every day for everybody. Anything on the farm that you had, that was confiscated by the Russian army. Anything left over, anything of value that was left, that was also confiscated by the Russian army. You lived with any way you possibly can, by hook or crook. You try to get over all the Russian dominance that was going on. They took all the well, I'm back to my old days. They took away all the veterans from the World War I. They took away all the able-bodied men, all the government people. They even took away the teachers. They were all sent to Siberia. The teachers were replaced by Russian teachers who taught in the Russian language. There was no way of getting around it. In 1941, the Nazis came in. They chased the Russians out. They turned on them just like thunder. All of a sudden, you had a brief light, but it didn't last. The Nazis were just as bad as the Russians. Again, it was just plain living day to day. The worst was yet to come. Not known to many people, the Ukrainian nationals took up arms at that time. They began slaughtering the Polish people. It wasn't a pretty picture. Some of those Ukrainian national groups, they were organized. Others were just wild animals. They did anything they wanted to. They call it ethnic cleansing today. Well, that's what they did then. Most of the Polish population was being wiped out. Any town that had a population of under 1,000, they were surrounded and they were killed. Now, this may seem hard to believe to some of you. Probably never heard it, but it's the real thing. That's what really happened. The farms, they were isolated. So it was pretty easy to surround the farm, demand everybody to get out, or the people would be killed. If they didn't, the farm would be set on fire. There was no way to escape. The Kaminsky family broke in two. Some of them went to another farm, some of them stayed. The first group who went to the other farm, they heard that knock on the door. All the screaming and all, whatever the mass happens when you get a wild bunch of people. So as soon as that happened, they took out the back door and started running for the forest. Well, some of them made it. Went into a tree with a lot of foliage, they hid there. Haystack, one of my aunts got a bullet just above her shoulder. She managed to survive. My grandfather was shot, and as everybody was running for safety, he couldn't make it anymore. They shot him. The other family, hearing about this the following day, you grabbed everything you could and took off. You left everything that you owned, whatever clothes you could take. That's all you had. There was no suitcases. Anyway, all that protection and guidance that we, from the Kaminsky family, survived that time is thanks to my dad. Stanley, stand up. That's how we live. That's how we live. After a bravery of people, you escape back to where there's another story. I think that's another day. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Mr. Kaminsky, and thank you very much for this moving story. The right man for the job, I mean the Polish radio. Thank you very much again. I'd like to extend special thanks to the Honorary Consul, Robert Ogrodnik, for inviting us here. And I'd like to thank Carol, his wife, for two things. Perhaps one of these things is patience, and the other is support. Because he's done a lot. A very hard-working man, and he needs this support. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Ogrodnik, again.
Thank you so much. Polenez Ball has a tradition of introducing ladies of Polish descent to St. Louis, Polonia. Before our newest presentee is introduced, we would like to welcome some of our past presentees who are attending this evening. And Lydia Schulte, both escorted by their father. Katarzyna Polańska, escorted by her fiancé, Todd Black. Celestina Basamanovich, escorted by her father, Joe Bogich. Lydia Kaminska Troninger, escorted by her son. Ivona Made, escorted by her father, Alexander Gorka. Thank you all for coming. And introducing tonight's presentees, Mr. Edwin Jejinski.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor on behalf of the Polish American Cultural Society of Metropolitan St. Louis to present Miss Gabriela Janina Adaj.
After the original concept by Auguste Bournonville, this ballet is a perfect representation of the famed Danish style, inspired by events in the early 1800s. A small army had proven themselves irresistible, holding their ground against a much larger force. In celebration, Bournonville created this charming work in tribute to his corps de ballet for the Danish king. In this reconstruction, any illusion to battle is gone, but the sense of order, national pride, an unwavering spirit remains. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alexandra Ballet.
A więc, proszę Państwa, dziękuję bardzo za zaproszenie od Polish American Culture i mam nadzieję, że znowu zobaczymy się na Święconce. Ja bardzo przepraszam, że tam ucinałem niektóre momenty, ale były osoby, które sobie nie życzyły, aby pokazywać je na wizji. A więc zapraszam już niedługo na kolejne reportaże naszej telewizji Krakowia.pl. więc proszę Państwa, idziemy wszędzie tam, gdzie nas zapraszają i szanują, mają szacunek dla naszej pracy, a nie idziemy tam, gdzie nas nie chcą. To Państwo sami zobaczą na swoich ekranach, gdzie jesteśmy, a gdzie nas nie ma.